Hi, welcome to Nourishing Body and Soul, the podcast. Get ready to revitalize your mind, body, and soul. We're here to inspire women who are looking to break free from old patterns and ideas to create a life of increased confidence and improved health. Say goodbye to limiting beliefs and hello to new possibilities. So kick back, get ready to have some fun, and let's dive in. We'll uncover tools and insights that can help you build a life that's truly nourishing, body and soul. Hi, I'm Tracy.
And I'm Victoria.
And we're glad you're here. Welcome to the podcast today. So today we're going to be talking about, we've talked that in our last episode, talked about intuitive eating and rejecting the diet mentality. So we are super steeped in diet culture, and it's just has gotten into so much of our thinking and our habits and all of that. But we can't just everybody has a diet. Everybody has some, we have a way that we eat. That's not the same thing as being on a diet. But what happens when we have a medical situation that we need to be on a certain kind of diet? So that's what we're going to talk about today, because that can be a really tricky thing. So
I do have one thing to say too before. Well, I came to her with this question because I am having health problems, but also I just found out like someone I know is on Ozempic, and we have been bashing Ozempic, or I have especially been bashing Ozempic for a while, and she has diabetes. It's like legitimate like use of the drug.
Yeah.
And we've been bashing it. I just want to say there are legitimate uses of the drug. I don't want anyone to feel guilty because they think they're cheating and losing the weight or whatever. There are legitimate uses of it, as there are for like most drugs.
Yeah.
Maybe not cocaine. No.
But so what do we do is the question when we have to be on a specific type of diet for a medical condition.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is, as she said, she's having health issues. She's asked this question, what do I do? And so let's start with, what are your concerns about?
Well,
going into this?
like I'm very like I will do all or nothing kind of a thing. And I feel like I might go all in until I don't. So like all in for a year even, or all in for a few months. And then I'm like, oh yay, let's go party and have like whatever. And then just forget it all.
Okay.
Like my typical, like treat it like a typical diet when really it's like a medical problem that needs to be addressed in multiple ways, including food.
Yeah.
So that I don't want it to feel like a typical diet. I don't want to feel like.
Yeah, which it's likely to, because that's what we're used to. This is why we do diets, because of what we're going to get from them. And most likely there may be some weight loss involved with this different kind of diet that you're having. And if not, there's still the rules that can feel like the rules of a weight loss diet. And because of that, we automatically go into all the things that we've thought about that diet mentality and all of that all or nothing thinking, that success or failure, that all the excitement and hope that we talked about last week. And all of those things can easily come into play. So how do we take this diet that we need to do for a different reason and differentiate it in our mind from the diets that we've chosen to do in the past for the purposes of weight loss?
Well, I mean, there's a suggestion that I go to a dietitian, which that also is my main concern. I feel like if I go to a dietitian that it will feel like, a personal trainer who's given me a diet, or Jenny Craig, or, whatever. So.
And there are dietitians that are like that, but there are also dietitians that are, well, one of the people that I follow on Instagram is who's very, very well and in a very entertaining way teaches about intuitive eating. She's a dietitian. And so there are dietitians on both, like doctors. There are doctors on both sides, there are dietitians on both sides. But the thing is, no matter what kind of dietitian you find yourself with, and I think most of them are still, here are the rules, kind of bent, but no matter how they're approaching it, because of your history and for many other people in the situation,
Mhm.
it triggers all of the old. All of those
Yeah.
old triggers, all the old
Mhm.
diet mentality thinking that you've been working so hard to get away
Yeah.
from and have in a lot
Yeah.
of ways.
Yeah.
So looking at it from, instead of as this is a diet,
Mhm.
right now you have a diet.
Yes.
Everybody does.
Well,
Anybody
yeah.
who eats has
Yes,
a
yes,
diet.
yeah.
And so if
It's my diet of the day.
like
Like, what did I eat
Yeah.
today? Not just like
Yeah.
regular. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah, all the various foods that you eat, the things that you take in, that's your diet.
Mhm.
And so if you can, it will involve a lot of self-talk and a lot of perspective.
Mhm.
But if you can, I would say that would be the first place to reframe, is just to remind yourself, if you start noticing those diet mentality, those
Mhm.
triggers being flipped, then you go, wait a minute, this is not a diet, this is my diet,
Mhm.
and make that differentiation.
That's interesting. Oh, yeah.
That would be
That's
the
good.
first place to start with
Yeah,
that.
this is my diet.
Right, this is my diet.
Like, not something I'm following, but
Right.
something that's good for me.
Right.
Kind of mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when we think about a diet, a weight loss diet, those are based in what? Wanting, being-
Yeah, wanting to be skinny.
right,
Or
wanting to be
whatever.
skinny, being unhappy with how we look,
Mhm.
being unhappy with our bodies,
Mhm.
and wanting to change our bodies because of that.
Mhm.
Well, anybody who is diabetic or, kidney disease, or
Yeah.
any of the many things that can cause a medically related need for a certain kind of diet,
Mhm.
it's not that you're like, oh, I'm still just very happy with my body. I'm so happy I have diabetes,
Yeah.
It's not that, but it's like, it's not, I'm doing this to change. I'm doing this to care for
Mm.
my
Oh,
body.
interesting.
I'm
That's a
doing this to
way.
take care of myself.
Yeah, that's a different way to think.
It's a whole,
Like a reframing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
is.
wow. That actually really, like, that just felt like a light bulb
Yeah.
in my head. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a different, yeah, to think of it like that.
So in reality, though, you go, whether you decide to go to a dietitian or whether your doctor just gives you, here's some information, here's your paperwork
Mhm.
on the kinds of things you need to be eating.
Mhm.
It will be very easy to go, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
Here's my diet
Sure.
rules.
Mhm.
And so just that constant noticing, that constant, wait a minute, how am I feeling
Mhm.
about this? It's
Yeah.
the same kind of thing like you were talking about with the Reese's cereal.
Yeah.
Those conversations that, wait a minute, why am I doing this?
Mhm.
What's my approach?
Mhm.
Is this mentally and emotionally a good place to be?
Mhm.
Or am I going off?
Yeah.
And those kind of conversations, it's that
Mhm.
same kind of, wait, hold on. Why am I doing this? How am I doing this?
Mhm. Yeah.
What is mentally and emotionally, where am I? Because it really, goodness sakes, if we're approaching it, if we can frame it as, this is my diet and I'm caring for myself, this form of
Mhm.
self-care,
Mhm.
then it becomes a get to.
Mhm.
What a privilege I have to be able to choose the food, to be in a position and a place where I can choose food that I can actually have an impact
Mm.
on this situation, this medical situation that's heading a direction I don't want it to go.
Wow. Yeah. That's
What
great.
this is awesome that I can do this.
Yeah.
Instead of, well, I can't eat that anymore.
Yeah. That's also reframing. Like, this is, look at what I've got and how I can affect change.
Mhm. That I have power in this. I don't have to
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
go, okay, well, now I'm a victim of high
Yeah.
blood pressure.
Yeah. That there is some power that
I
you
just
can
have
take.
to learn to do this. I just have to learn to live with this and watch
Yeah.
my body deteriorate in whatever form.
Mhm. Yeah.
That there's something that we can do,
Mhm.
that we have power, and that's
Mhm.
always,
Yeah.
that's where we
So
want to
to
live.
look at it as more of an empowering, empowering moment
Yeah.
or time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an opportunity.
Mhm.
And but again, when it comes right down to, you're at the store doing your
Mhm.
shopping, there are going to be moments where you're going, oh, no, I don't want to get that.
Mhm.
but it sounds so good. And those
Mhm.
triggers are gonna
Yeah.
happen again. And
Mhm.
that's then the,
Mhm.
okay, I'm gonna leave this aisle, have a little conversation with myself and come back.
Yeah, and there's the like, oh, I've been so good. Like that,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
attitude where I've been so good. I deserve it. I deserve just like a little treat. And
Yeah.
then person you eating the
Yeah,
whole box.
yeah. And that word, a little treat. It's like,
Yeah.
is it really a treat if it's damaging you,
No,
It's
no, it is not.
no, I deserve a treat, so I'm going to I'm going to eat in a way that's going to,
Mhm. I'm gonna define treat in a different way. I deserve a
Right,
treat, like,
right.
I don't know, go to the movies or something.
yeah. Yeah,
To
or
be
even if you
treated.
want to be food related, I'm 100% sure you can find foods that
Yeah,
you enjoy within whatever
Mhm.
medical diet that you're
I've
doing.
read this and it's super funny to me, but like somebody said, I would just wanna, I'll know I'm rich when I can buy a box of raspberries
Oh.
without checking the price.
I posted that on Facebook.
Oh, was that
On
you?
Instagram, yeah, that's what I
That
told
was
you.
you, that was hilarious. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so true.
I can buy raspberries out of season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
have to buy raspberries on sale. That's
Yeah.
right. And I thought, that's a good like thing. Like you can go have a treat and it's, I
Yeah.
can go get a treat and it feels like a treat because my pocketbook feels like I spent for a treat.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
that's something you love. I had a client one time that it just broke my heart. She had some medical issues and she just put herself in a frame of mind that she's like, I just have to think about that. Um, it just was like a very adversarial thing, very adversarial.
Mhm.
These foods that I can't eat, I just have to think of them as, basically an enemy. And it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, I mean, if that works for you, but
Mhm.
but then that also leaves you feeling like, but then it doesn't do anything. It doesn't make that
Yeah.
what you're going to eat, what you want to eat.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Unless you're like, this box of like whatever Lucky Charms is the enemy Lex Luthor and I am Superman. Are those the two? I don't know. My superhero culture is just like revealed itself as bad.
The fact that I can't go, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's like,
Or yeah.
I think that's right.
I think well, whatever.
Absolutely.
All I'm saying is you
Yeah.
have your superfoods, superhero foods.
Yeah.
But that does still give you signs of a moral value still.
And
But
two, it sets very strong good and bad foods mentality. Instead of just going, you know what? This food, really, I don't have a lot of food issues. I'm allergic to one thing I know of, and that's kiwi.
oh,
And there are a few things in this world that taste as good as a kiwi that's just right, but I can look at that kiwi and go, "Ugh, no, that's a bad food because it makes me, it's dangerous for me. Because I mean, it's immediate. I start swelling, it's immediate. I was like, I can look at that as a bad food and therefore I'm Superman if I can resist that food. It's my kryptonite, but I can fight against it.
Yeah.
And
Green.
that's, or but then I'm making it a bad food.
Yeah.
Instead of going, kiwi has no moral value, just like any other food has no moral value, but it's just a food that I opt not to eat because I don't like the consequences of it for my particular body.
Yeah.
So I don't have to fight against kiwi. I don't have to hold it as an enemy. I don't have to use my resources to
fight against it.
I don't have to put on my armor when I go to the farmer's market, or the produce section. I can drive down the street and look at the kiwi. We grow everything here. Look at the kiwi plants and just
kiwis.
yeah, there was
when
a
I
big,
grew up. No,
oh,
like,
you at your house?
my family grew kiwis.
And so I don't have to drive by and go, oh, there's that awful food. I can go, oh, look at that beautiful plant. I'm so glad I live in a place that can grow so many things and be happy for other people that can enjoy it. And it just takes all the morality out of it.
Yeah.
And so when we start,
I like that, taking it and framing it as if this is something that's going to nourish me. This is my diet that's going to nourish me, that's going to help me fight whatever it is, let's make the enemy the disease or.
Yeah, that your kidneys are struggling right now and
Mhm.
you can do something to take care of your kidneys.
Yes, yes.
But I can do this out of love and
Mhm.
appreciation for what my kidneys have done for me
Yeah.
all of my life.
Yeah.
And I want to facilitate them doing that for as long as
Mhm.
possible.
Mhm. Yes, I like it. I like it. That's a good way to think about it. I have lots of good ways now to think about it. I feel
Good.
good about it. Yes.
Good.
So off I go
So
on my
yeah,
medical adventure.
yeah.
Yay.
So, and there are lots of other things that all of and as we go through and we talk about, like I said, we're gonna talk about the principles of intuitive eating. Like probably once a month, we'll cover one. And so as we're doing that, a lot of those things will apply to the dieting mentality, which we don't want to apply that dieting mentality
Mhm.
to a medical, you
Yeah.
know, this
Yeah.
particular
To
diet.
try and figure
And
it.
yeah, I
then-
mean, and in this case, we could be,
Okay.
our doctors may be literally like wanting to prescribe it. And so we,
Mhm.
again, they may be looking
Mhm.
at it like a diet,
Mhm.
and a dietitian may be looking at it like a diet.
Mhm.
But again, if we can just set aside the dieting mentality
Mhm.
and look at it as this is my diet that I'm going to choose
Mhm.
to eat to support my kidneys
Mhm. Yeah.
or, help with my high blood pressure or my diabetes or whatever. And that takes away a lot of the feeling of missing out.
Yeah.
And that this is, focusing on what is
Mhm.
and what can be.
And really, we have access as Americans to so even in places that don't have as many options,
Mhm.
there's still a lot of options that we have
Mhm.
of things to eat that
Mhm.
we should could explore.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't like Brussels sprouts when you were a kid, but
Still
maybe
don't.
maybe if you cook them with bacon and soften them up with some good onions and then throw in an apple, so a little crunch at the end, maybe you might like them because it's really good. You might like them.
I don't remember how I've had them one way that I didn't very much dislike them.
Mhm. And you cut them up, so you can't even
Yeah,
know.
no, I've tried I've tried Brussels sprouts many ways.
It doesn't smell like rice. It just still smells like Brussels sprouts. But then when you eat it, you're like, yum. So all I'm saying is,
Yeah.
we maybe just might want to look past what we've just been eating as a kid or all the way, maybe look past that and go, hey, what else is there? What is this weird looking thing in the produce market?
Got one mom and I'm thinking, oh, I wish I would have thought about this when I had kids at home that I was feeding. She tells her kids, your taste buds
Mhm.
replenish themselves, replace themselves. And
Mhm.
I can't remember, it's like I think she said every 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
She said,
Mhm.
so if you don't like it now, try it again. You might like it because you're gonna have different taste buds.
Oh, did that work for her?
Yeah, her kids were willing to try things.
There you go. That's good.
But whatever, it's like, yeah, our tastes change, but
Mhm.
also, yeah, so just don't be afraid,
Mhm.
it can be
Yeah,
kind of
see, you might
adventure.
like Brussels sprouts.
Well, I still will, I'm not gonna make them at my house.
Yeah. No.
But if you made them for me like that, I would taste them.
Yeah.
I haven't written them off completely.
Yep.
But
Anyway, all to
so-
say, there are good things
Mhm.
that are out there to eat that will fit within our nourishing prescription
Mhm.
for ourselves.
Mm.
Yeah, I twisted that. All right.
Yes, so take care of yourself, nourish your body and your soul.
Yes.
And that reframing is part of nourishing our souls.
Mhm.
And we'll see you next time.
All right. See you later. Bye, everybody.
Hey, if you want to help us grow this podcast that we're having fun doing, like and subscribe.
And comment.
Oh, yes.
Please comment. We will comment back.
Yes, we will.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's Tracy. If this was helpful and you'd like more, follow me on Instagram at tlastel.nourishingbodyansoul or on Facebook or YouTube at Nourishing Body and Soul, or you can find my website at nourishingbodysoul.com. Thanks for tuning in to Nourishing Body and Soul, the podcast. Before we wrap up, we just want to remind you that the information we share in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended for medical advice. While we hope you find our discussions helpful, we strongly recommend that you seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet, exercise routine, or any other aspect of your health. We also want to make it clear that the host, guests, and producers of this podcast are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences that may result from the use of any information or suggestion discussed in this podcast. We care about your well-being, but we can't take responsibility for individual outcomes. By listening to this podcast, you agree to indemnify and hold harmless the host, guests, and producers of this podcast from and against any and all claims, damages, liabilities, costs, and expenses arising from your use of the information provided in this podcast. We're so grateful for your support, and we hope you keep listening and learning with us. Thanks.